Hey guys, so today I'll be speaking about some of the other SQL statements, namely order by, between, limit, in, and like statements. This is the third video in the installment of the series Understanding SQL in PostgreSQL. So let's get started. So I'll be linking the installation video link in the description, so do check this out to get started with the installation steps. After that, in my previous video, like you have seen this, these are the tables that there are. So let's explore one of the tables. Let's see the city table. So let's see the film table. So in order to see what rows are there, like what data is there in the film table, let's run this. So as you can see, like we have the film ID, title, description, release year, rental duration, and some other columns. So let's get started with the first statement, which is order by. So basically what order by does is, as the name suggests, it orders a particular by a particular, let's say, column. So let's say we want to order this by the release year, let's say. So the syntax is select, let's say we want to see the film ID, we want to see the title and release year, from film order by. And it's a good practice to always keep all the SQL keywords in uppercase in order to differentiate. Although it doesn't matter, SQL will be able to differentiate even if you type it in a mixture of lower or uppercase, but it's a good practice to keep it all uppercase. So let's say we want to order by release year. And by default, if you say order by release year, so what it does is it orders the rows based on release year in ascending order. So this is like basically the same as this. And to run this statement, you have to select this and then press on this play button, or okay, I'll just zoom it in. So yeah, so you can see better now. I think we can click on this play button, or what you can do is like press F5, and as you can see here, you will get all the release years in ascending order. Let's say we want to see the order in the descending order, so just you have to make this as DESC and run this, and you can see all the columns in the descending. Yes, okay. So because all the like release years are in 2006, you're getting 2006. Let's say you want to order by title, so you'll get the alphabetically the last titles come like starting with Z first and then Y, W, and everything. So this is order by. Let's say we want to order by title, but we want to see the 5 5 titles which are in the top written by, like the top 5 results of this. So we want to see this from 1 to 5, from Z to Y, young language. So in order to do that, what we have to do is use something called limit. So we just say limit 5, and it gives us the top 5 results returned by this query. And if we run this, we get the top 5 results. Similarly for ascending, you can do this the same thing. It will give the top 5 results in the ascending order uh, ordered by the title in ascending order. So the A's will come first, then B's, C's, and D's, like that. So that's order, and order by and limit. And so I'll just write down here in order to understand. So this is order by and limit. And let's say after that we want to see, so we'll just run this, the top statement. Let's say we want to see only those movies or titles which have a length between a certain range. Let's say we want to see, let's say we want to see between 80 to 100 what all films are there which have a length from 80 to 100. In order to do that, we use something called between statement. So between statement, so how it goes is like, let's say we want to say the film ID, title, release year will be the same. So just let this be length from film, and I'm seeing that I have kept this in, it doesn't matter as you have seen, but it's a good practice to keep it all uppercase. And then let's say where length, let's say we want to see between 80 and 100. This and is also a keyword which basically states that we have to search between 80 and 100. Or there are other forms like or, which I'll come to later. Let's run this first. Okay, to run this first we have to select this in order to let PostgreSQL understand which part we want to execute. And if we run this, we'll see that we'll only get those films which have a length between 80 and 100 if you check. Okay, so that's between. Let's say there is another statement. So this is between and let's copy this. So there's another so these are all logical operators similar to the logical operators in which you use in programming in different languages. So let's say we want to see movies which have a length let's say less than 80 or greater than 100. Sorry, greater than 100. Just make this 80 or so. This is the or statement which will basically select all those films which have lengths less than 80 and all those films which have lengths greater than 100. So if we run this, we will only get those values. Okay, just where length is less than and okay from film. No operator matches, you might need to explicit typecasts. Okay, I think it's because of this, I'm not sure. Let's see. So basically we need to give an equal to after less than sign in order to properly execute this. So this will return all those films which have lengths less than 80 or films which have length greater than 100. So if we execute this, we'll get all those films which have length less than 80 and or greater than 100. as you can see. So that's between or. Next we come to something called in statement. So like between statement, in statements help us to compare values with certain discrete values and return the rows which match those values basically. So let's say if we take this example, let's execute this film first and see what all columns are there. Okay, let's say we want to check for rental rates for certain discrete values, whether they are present or not. In order to do that, let's execute this. So let's make this rental rate so that we can see what all rental rates are being returned by the query. So let's say we want to check rental rates in a certain values, let's say 4.99, 3, 5.99. so this will only check for films which have rental rates having rental rates in one of these values. So if we execute this, we will get only those rental rates which we have mentioned in these brackets. So this will only check for 4.99, 3 and 5.99. So this is the in statement. After that we come to something called like, and like is very we can say it's analogous to a regular expression which we use in programming languages. So how it functions is like, let's say we want to check for all those films which are starting with A. So film ID, rental rate, let's say where the title is like starts with A. So in order to denote that, we say A then percentage. So this percentage means it will start with A, the pattern of the title, and it will be followed by any number of characters, any character having occurring any number of times. So this will basically start all the films starting with A. And if we execute this, we'll get only those films which start with A. Let's say we want to check films starting with B, so this will only give the films which start with B. And syntax error because I think it doesn't have any film with B. Let's check with D. Should return something. Okay, so it has films starting with D. These are all the films. And yeah, and let's say if you want to check, let's say any film that ends with P, so basically we put percentage here, and we have to make this like this because it ends with D, small d, and there are no films like that. So let's make it, let's say A ends with A. Let's run this. Okay, I think we have to select this, and so this will select all those films which end with A. Let's say we want to keep this, let's say we want to start with A and then let's say end with A, but if we put it like this, it will return null because there is no film which ends with capital A. So in that case, we can ask SQL to ignore this by using something called like or ILIKE. So this basically tells to ignore the case and return everything that starts with A, capital or small, and ends with, let's say, uppercase or lowercase a. So if we execute this, we have to select this first and execute this, we'll get all those. So there are currently 3 films that start with A and ends with A. So this is how ILIKE exec functions. So yeah, I think that's it for today's video, and if you guys enjoyed and learned something out of it, I do appreciate if you would Like this video, share it, subscribe to my channel, and as always I will see you guys in my next video.